This video in general is going to be about strategies to develop a sense of purpose. So if you're struggling on ways to spark creativity or passion or just channel a direction, this video might be able to help you put in place plans of action and identify, how you can shift your life to fit what you need to do and to feel a lot more fulfillment in yourself. I know this has definitely helped me, so I'm going to share a little bit of Robert Greene. This is his book, The Laws of Human Nature, and it's a powerful read. It's not really so much as a read as it is something you study and take notes from, but I highly recommend it. He's an amazing author. I recommend all of his books. They're just very insightful and well-versed, like he knows what he's talking about. Once you commit yourself to developing a sense of purpose, this is when the commitment and hard work begins, and a lot of patience is needed. You have to distinguish if you're looking for something short-term, a short-term success, or this is actually something you're generally passionate about. So if you pursue something and you want it to get recognition straight away, you want it to receive attention, then maybe step back and go, hang on, is this something I'm truly passionate about or just want to receive the reward? Another strategy for developing a high sense of purpose I'm just going to add in is researching people you admire, like research in their autobiographies, podcasts, listen to their story, where they came from. Usually it's from quite a destructive place or somewhere they've really had to work hard for. Reading this kind of success stories allows you to feel more patient with the process and allow you to focus on the progress and what you're passionate about rather than the end result. So the first step is your primal inclinations. What were you drawn to as a kid? Like, who were you as a kid? Who are you at core? What distinguishes you from other people? And that's what you need to pay attention to. You can't be something without your flaws. I mean, I have my flaws. I am slightly disorganised and I tend to start things and not finish them. Maybe ask around people who knew you when you were a kid and ask like, who was I? Or just reconnect with who you are at core. And this could be getting more engaged in things that sparked you creatively, like, I don't know, did you like riding bikes everywhere? Did you like playing the piano? And you'll start to slowly reconnect with what makes you you, like where your interests are. I encourage you to take a week and just follow where your feelings go. If you want to climb a tree, like follow your childlike instincts, and that will lead you to the things that bring you a lot of fulfillment at core. It's normally the things that you can withstand criticism from. Like, what's the things that you do and you're like, I don't care, like, leave me alone. Like, you're like, I don't care what you say. What are those things that you do and people would criticize you, but you would not care, you would not budge, and take note of what that is, because that's usually something that fuels from your core, rather than doing something to seek attention or doing something to follow a crowd. It's normally helps you connect with who you are at core, who you are within. But another thing that's really important is intelligence is categorized in different manners. And this is one of the main topics I wanted to bring up, is there's not just mathematical IQ intelligence where it's measured in a test and, the tests measure if you're able to get into a university or college. There's a lot of different types, and I'm going to talk you through some of the things I found to do with intelligence. This is based off a book called Frames of Mind by Howard Gardner, and he just found a lot of different types of intelligences that people could be gifted in or just usually drawn to. So the first one is logical mathematical, verbal linguistics. The third one is interpersonal intelligence, and this is more to do with engaging with people and communicating with people. Another one is body kinesthetic. Another one is musical intelligence, visual spatial, and this is how well we can actually visualize something in our mind's field. Another one that's more internal is intrapersonal skills, and this is how well do you know yourself. I think there's 9 of them, however I only have 8 of them down, but the other one I have written down is naturalistic. Being aware of your type of flair, your type of learning is so important for understanding how you're going to then pursue your passion, because everyone learns and picks up in different ways. So it all depends on your flair. It's finding your gift and affinity for what you're good at and enabling yourself to learn in that particular way. And don't put yourself into a box. It makes you different. This makes you unique. Your type of learning style differentiates yourself from a lot of people. When you're engaged in an activity that feels right, it will correspond to that form of intelligence for which the brain is most suited. So again, this is really important in discovering your passions. I do believe a lot of people have multiple passions. They have a lot of things they're interested in. They get interested in, dive deep into that subject, and then get bored and switch. A lot of people actually regret not mastering a particular skill. This bit of the book is very interesting. It says, if you are young and just starting out in your career, you will want to explore a relatively wild field related to your inclinations. For instance, if your affinity is words and writing, try all the different types of writing until you hit upon the right fit. So again, there's no harm in, exploring random different things, but again, it's finding just even something, even if it's not a career, it's just something that you love. For instance, does business in their job, but they're master at knitting, like to the point where their whole house is filled with knitting. They'll come home from work and knit, and that's a skill they mastered, and that's something they're really proud of and can be recognised from, and people also admire them for this practice. If you're older and have more experience, you'll want to take the skills you have already developed and find a way to adapt them more into the direction of your true calling. So, you don't have to have one passion, and I think the idea of having one passion puts a lot of people off from finding their life purpose or finding a career suited for them, because there's a lot of successful people who've mastered, a professional violinist and a professional psychologist at the same time. So yeah, don't limit yourself, but also really, really focus on, is this just a fascination, or is this something I'm really passionate about and I've been passionate about for a long time? So it says, although it may come to a few people early in life or a lightning bolt moment, for most of us it requires continual introspection and efforts. If you're not one of these people who go, yeah, I knew from 5 years old I was meant to be a pianist, or I knew I was meant to do this, then you're probably like me, where you gotta take introspection. You gotta reconnect with your childlike nature. You've gotta figure out what you're truly passionate about. Experimenting with the skills and options related to your personality and inclinations is perhaps the most important step in life in general. Knowing in a deep way who you are, your uniqueness, will make that much easier to avoid all of the other pitfalls of human nature. So sometimes people haven't figured out their purpose because they're still discovering who they are and a little bit of what they're capable of. Going back into your past allows you to reconnect with your personality of who you are right now, and also the one you've been all along. When you find out what you're passionate about, you're more likely to see the long-term vision. And when you see the long-term vision, you enter in sub-goals that allow you to achieve that in the long run. Embrace the deadlines of things. Embrace getting stuff done by a particular time. I also find when you figured out the long-term goal, when you wake up in the morning, what are you excited for? What's something that will get you up? So, for example, with me, I like to do YouTube. I've got 2 YouTube channels, and one of them involves, I like doing tarot. I like doing tarot readings, and I get excited about the fact that because I'm having these micro goals, because I'm creating a video every day, or keeping in touch with the people who watch my videos, and I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, this is where I'm going. And when I stay on this path, I have a lot of fulfillment for it because I enjoy it anyway as a topic. So that's something that brings me fulfillment. I wake up and I go, I'm going to create this video because I know the direction it's going in. Discovering what you're passionate about and your purpose helps you to it helps you to know where you're going in the future. It helps you to draw out a map of, oh, this is leading me to this destination. Pay attention to what makes you excited, what makes you have this childlike feeling of, oh my God, this is something I love. Or even if it's food, making food, baking, that's something you should be drawn to do and do more in your life, because it gives you the feeling of excitement, and it helps to make your day-to-day life a lot more connected to who you are within. You can build your confidence in certain areas and understanding that you can master situations by starting off with simple things you've mastered. And it's mastering the simple things that gives you courage, or the more long-term goals you can accomplish in the future. In moments like this, is backtracking to things that you've accomplished in the past or mastered, and reaffirming your confidence about what you can do. Another thing that's really important, and I think it's going to be the last point, is to absorb purposeful energy. Robert Greene talks about absorbing purposeful energy. So this means Surrounding yourself with people who have a purpose, who are working towards their purpose. We as humans are extremely susceptible to moods and energies of other people, and it's true. Feelings are contagious. If you're around people who are lazy, I feel such a hypocrite for saying this, but if you're around people who are lazy, you tend to pick up on that, and you're just naturally more absorbent around other people. So it's surrounding yourself with people who, you know, are driven, just people who are good for you, who motivate you, who inspire you. That's really important to have in your life. You want to find people who are pragmatic and not merely those who are charismatic or visionaries. Like, you want to see people actually progress. You want to be around those people who are actually taking movement, people who are more action orientated than talk. And this is very hypocritical for me to say, but again, just learning. If you find you're more talk than action, you want to surround yourself with people who are more action orientated and learn to change your energy, if that makes sense. So he says, if possible, collect around you a group of people from different fields as friends or associates who have similar energy. You will help elevate one another's sense of purpose. Do not settle for virtual associations or mentors. They will not have the same effect as if they're actually in your circle of influence. But that's something that's always really important. You will find that the people around you influence who you become and who you are. Even being inspired by people who are on similar paths to you, I find it's really, really influencing. Then you can look back at the path they took and realise, you know, everyone who has taken a path of following their pursuits, their passion, always start at a point where they're in a rut. You know, they got it hard, but they have to pursue and put hard work and motivation in. But the vision in the long run will bring you excitement and will fuel you to wake up in the morning. So, you know, when you wake up in the morning, go, oh, I'm really excited to get to this point because I know I'm getting to that point. In order for that vision to work, you have to have, like, you know, sub goals. So for instance, if you wanted to become more athletic and become more healthy in that kind of way, and you took walks every day or did a workout every day or 5 times a week, then you'll become more excited for the long-term vision. You'll be able to see the vision more because you're taking sub goals to get there. So once you conquer those sub goals, you'll feel way more motivated day to day. I hope this advice kind of helps those who are trying to figure out how to strategize, how to be more on their purpose, more on a route of some sort. You got to believe in yourself. You've got to have self-belief. And part of having self-belief is realizing your strengths and weaknesses, what you can do, and again, master the little things that will help you have confidence for mastering big long-term outcomes, and this will change your life completely. That's all I had to say today about developing a sense of purpose and feeling a bit more in control of your life. I think when people feel out of control, then they're more able to persist with negative backlash or feeling like they can't control their life, and that's one of the worst feelings, is feeling like you have no control over your destiny or where you're going. So I hope this helped and provided some sort of tips to center yourself on your goal a little bit more. I'm going to leave the video here, and I hope everyone has a good day, and like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. The only reason I'm sharing it also, I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I am doing and I am implementing these tactics myself, and I'm actually feeling like I've got a little bit more control in my life, which is something I desperately needed. I definitely felt out of control. I wasn't really doing anything to improve my situation, so I feel a lot more control now that I've applied these strategies, and I kind of have an idea, a vision of where it's going, and that's something that provides me with a lot of confidence, and it also helps me to assure myself on what I can do, my potential, what I can fulfill in the time I have. I'm currently in pyjamas, tracksuits. I actually brought these new ones fresh, and I've got spot cream, pseudo creme all over my face, and plasters underneath my eye. Other than that, I'm getting really excited about the fact that I'm starting to take control of my life a little bit, because I'm not someone who's great at taking each day as it comes. I kind of let it pass or try and distract myself from day to day. But basically, this is my current situation. I'm trying to focus on the things that bring me enjoyment. So I've been trying to push myself to create every day, and I find that when I create, it allows me to express myself a little bit more and also feel myself a little bit more. Otherwise I get tied up and just not feeling myself. The one thing I'm learning right now, because I'm not perfect, that's why I'm doing these videos today anyway, is I'm trying to actually educate myself and push myself to use the information I'm learning about. So that's a little bit of a place I'm in right now. Otherwise, to be honest, I struggled to get up this morning. I normally get up around 10 or 9. Well, I try to, but today it was 12 o'clock and the weather's miserable, so it was a bit of a struggle. So I'm currently doing my craft at the moment. This is my floor right now, and this is kind of what my room looks like every day. You know, setting goals is a really important sub goal to have, and it's something I really didn't do in the past, but realising it now has helped me realise that, you know, I'm going to have to set goals for the long term rather than short term. So that's something I'm figuring out, but otherwise that's a little update.